The wind did not stop screaming. On the empty red plains of the planet Karis 9, a small tent shook like a dying leaf. The sky above was dark red, filled with dust and cold clouds. The ground was hard, frozen, and cruel. No trees, no homes. Only silence and storm. Inside the tent, an alien mother pulled her 3 children close to her chest. Her name was Selah. Her skin was pale blue, marked with thin silver lines that glowed softly in the dark. Once, those lines had shined bright with hope. Now they were weak, like fading stars. Her children were small. Too small for this world. The oldest, Rin, tried to look brave, even though his hands were shaking. The middle child, Tilla, pressed her face into Selah's side, hiding from the sound of the wind. The youngest, Koro, did not cry anymore. He was too tired. The tent was thin. It could not stop the cold. It could not stop the fear. Selah wrapped her torn cloak around them. Her arms ached, but she did not move. Mothers did not rest. Mothers did not break, not when everything else already had. She closed her eyes and remembered another sky. A blue one. A warm one. Her home world. It had burned. Enemy ships had come without warning. Cities fell in hours. Her mate was lost in the fire. Her people scattered across the stars like dust. Selah ran with her children, ship to ship, planet to planet. Every place promised safety. Every place failed. Now they were here. On a forgotten world. In a tent. Ariane looked up at her. Mother, will they come again? Selah swallowed. She did not want to lie. But she did not want to break him either. I am here, she said softly. That is enough. A loud sound rolled across the plains. Not thunder. Metal. Selah froze. The children felt it too. Rin's eyes went wide. Tilla grabbed Selah's arm. Even little Koro lifted his head. The ground began to shake. Heavy. Slow. Strong. Footsteps. Selah's heart beat fast. She knew that sound. She had heard it before, on other worlds, before soldiers came, before screens filled the air. Humans. Her people feared humans. Humans were big, loud. They built walls and weapons. When humans came, worlds changed or died. She reached for the small blade hidden under the floor cloth of the tent. It was old and dull. It would not save them. But a mother still tried. The footsteps stopped just outside. A shadow fell over the tent. Tall, wide. The wind went quiet, as if the planet itself was holding its breath. Selah pulled her children behind her. Her body stood between them and the unknown. The tent fabric moved. A shape pressed close. Then a voice spoke. Low, deep, calm. Hey. It's okay. The words were strange but clear. The translator chipped in. Selah's ear worked fast. It was human speech. Selah did not answer. The tent slowly opened. Cold air rushed inside, carrying dust and snow. In the opening stood a human. He was tall, wearing dark armor marked with white lines. His helmet was under his arm, not on his head. He had no weapon in his hands. His face looked tired. His eyes were not hard. They were sad. He looked at the children first. Then he knelt. Slowly, carefully, like someone approaching a scared animal. I saw your shelter on my scan, he said. This storm will get worse. Selah tightened her grip on the blade. Humans always said things before they took what they wanted. Human took a deep breath and said the words that would change everything. You should not be sleeping here tonight. Selah's heart pounded. What do you want? She asked. The human met her eyes and spoke softly. To help. Behind him, far in the distance, a human ship waited, its lights glowing like stars in the red darkness. Selah did not know it yet. But this night was the last night her children would sleep under cloth instead of a roof. The wind still howled, but inside the tent, it felt smaller. The human stayed at the entrance, kneeling carefully, his eyes soft. Not threatening. Sayla's hands tightened around her children. Rin peeked out from behind her shoulder, watching the stranger. Tila clung to Sayla's side, trembling. Koro, small and silent, pressed his face into Sayla's cloak. The human did not move quickly. He kept his hands visible. Slowly, he reached into a small pack at his side and pulled out wrapped food. Warm food, fresh cooked. The smell drifted into the tent, and the children's noses twitched. Hunger had made them weak, too weak to be afraid for a moment. He spoke gently. "Eat first," he said. "You will need strength for the night." Sayla hesitated. Her people had been betrayed many times. She studied his face. Nothing there was cruel. No weapon raised. No sudden movements. He only looked tired, kind, and careful. Rin took the food first. He stared at it as if it were magic. Tila dared a small bite, and her eyes widened with surprise. Koro reached for a piece, small fingers trembling. Sayla watched them, feeling something she hadn't felt in years. Hope. "Why do you help us?" she asked, voice low, wary. The human shrugged. "Not all humans are the same. Some see fear. Some see need. I see a family." Sayla frowned. "Family is sacred. You do not understand. You do not know what my people faced." "I know fear," he said softly. "I've seen enough to know hunger and cold can break anyone. You don't need fear tonight. Not if I can help." The wind outside seemed to push against the tent, but inside there was silence. Even the storm paused, as if listening. Sayla's grip on her blade loosened slightly. She did not trust him fully, but her body ached from holding the children so tightly. Her children needed warmth, shelter, safety, perhaps. This human could give it. "Come," he said after a moment. "You cannot stay here. The storm will kill you." Sayla studied him. The human motioned toward the ship in the distance, lights glowing in the red darkness like beacons. She looked back at her children. Rin's eyes pleaded. Tila clung harder. Koro whimpered softly. She made a decision. Slowly, she rose. She kept the children close. The human stayed a few steps behind, silent, patient, careful not to scare them further. The walk to the human ship was slow. The ground was uneven, icy in some places. Every shadow seemed alive. Every sound could be a threat. Sayla moved with caution, yet every step felt lighter than staying in the cold tent. At last, they reached the base of the ship. It was smaller than the enemy ship she remembered. Sleek, quiet, and strange. Light glowed warmly from inside. A door opened automatically. The human gestured. Inside, now. Sayla carried Koro. Rin and Tila followed closely. The warmth hit them like a wave. For the first time in many days, the children felt heat not from their mother's arms. Their eyes widened. Rin touched the wall. It was solid, steady. Not cloth. Not wind. Not dust. Ella spun in a small circle. "It's warm," she whispered. Koro's small laugh broke from him, a sound Sayla had not heard in months. She smiled, feeling her chest loosen. The human watched quietly. He said nothing more. He simply let them experience the warmth. For the first time, Sayla allowed herself to believe that maybe not all humans were the destroyers she had feared. Maybe some could be kind, but in the back of her mind, a shadow lingered. Other humans were out there, soldiers, rules, orders. Not all would be as gentle as this one. Her eyes met the human's. He gave a small nod. No words were needed, but the storm outside raged on, reminding her that safety was temporary, and she knew that by morning, everything might change again. The human's next words cut through the quiet, tent like a promise and a warning. "Tonight, you will sleep under a roof." Sayla's heart beat fast. She did not know if she should be relieved or afraid, But she had no choice. The human had opened the door. And for the first time in a long while, she took a step forward. The door of the human ship closed behind them with a soft hiss. Warm air wrapped around the alien family, a strange comfort Sayla had not felt in years. The children's eyes sparkled with wonder, reflecting the soft glow of the lights. The human, tall and careful, led them down a narrow corridor. The walls were smooth, warm to the touch, and hummed softly. Every step echoed quietly. No wind, no dust, no fear. Sayla's heart ached. For so long, her children had known only fear, hunger, cold, the constant threat of death. And now, here, the warmth felt unreal. Too perfect. Mother? Rin's voice broke through her thoughts. Is this safe? Sayla kneeled to his level. She took his small hand in hers. I don't know, she admitted quietly. But we will stay together. That is enough for now. The human stopped in front of a wide door. He pressed a button and it slid open smoothly. Inside was a room she had never imagined on this barren world, walls of metal, glowing softly. A floor that didn't bite at bare feet. And beds, 3 small beds lined up neatly with blankets. Heat radiated gently from the walls, filling every corner. The children gasped. Koro ran to the nearest bed, jumped, and bounced once before flopping down with a small giggle. Tilla cautiously touched a blanket, her eyes wide with disbelief. Rin inspected the walls and the floor, running his hands along them, still half expecting them to disappear like the tent. Sayla watched quietly, a lump in her throat. She had never imagined such safety for her children. Not since her home was destroyed. The human knelt beside the children. Eat first, he said, opening a small container with warm food. He set it on a low table, letting the children dig in. You will need strength for the night. Rin took a cautious bite, then another more confident. Tilla nibbled slowly, savoring the warmth of the food. Even Koro, who had stopped crying long ago, squeaked with delight as he ate. Sayla stood to the side, watching. She could not speak. Her throat was tight with emotion she had tried to bury for years. Relief, fear, confusion, gratitude. The human glanced at her. His eyes were soft. I promise, he said quietly. Tonight, no one will harm you. You are safe here. Sayla studied him, trying to measure the truth in his words. Humans were unpredictable. Some destroyed without mercy. Others, like him, seemed almost human in kindness. Could she trust him? Could she allow herself to believe? A sudden alarm echoed in the distance. The children flinched. Sayla's hands went to them instinctively. It's okay, the human said immediately. Not for you. We handle this. His voice carried confidence, and for the first time in months, Sayla felt a flicker of calm. She let the children settle into the beds. Rin tucked himself under a blanket, eyes wide, but not scared. Tilla curled beside him, still trembling, but she trusted the warmth of the room. Koro snuggled into his mother's side, finally closing his eyes. Sayla touched the smooth wall, feeling the heat, the stability, the life in this human space. She whispered softly, almost to herself, a roof. Real walls, warmth. I never thought I would see this again. The human stayed near the doorway, silent and watchful, a guardian without weapon, without threat. He had not forced them. He had not rushed them. He had offered choice. And for a mother who had seen too many worlds burn, that was a gift greater than food or shelter. The wind outside howled and battered the ship's hull, a reminder of the cold, red world beyond. But inside, Sayla allowed herself to breathe, to feel, to hope. She glanced at the human one last time before laying beside Koro. Thank you, she whispered. He simply nodded. Sleep now. Tomorrow is another day. For the first time in years, Sayla allowed herself to close her eyes. Outside, the storm raged. Inside, under this strange, warm roof for tonight, they were safe, and deep inside her she knew this night could change everything. That morning came slowly. Light filtered through the smooth walls of the human ship, soft and steady. The storm outside had passed, leaving the red plains quiet and empty once more. Inside, the alien family slept a little longer, wrapped in blankets. Feeling warmth and safety for the first time in years, Sayla watched her children sleep. Rin's small chest rose and fell with steady breaths. Tilla's hands were tucked under her chin. Koro was curled beside her, his tiny body relaxed. The sight made her heart ache and swell at the same time. They were alive. They were safe. But the world beyond the ship still waited uncaring. Dangerous. The human who had brought them, tall and steady, opened the door to the cabin. His name was Captain Darren. His face was calm, but his eyes were serious. "We need to go to the base," he said. "Other humans are waiting." Sayla stiffened. "Other humans?" she asked. Her voice was soft but wary. "Who are they? Will they help us?" Darren shook his head. "Not all humans think like me. Some will see you as a threat." The words cut deep. Sayla had learned the hard way that kindness was rare, and caution was necessary. She gathered her children and nodded. "Then we will be careful." The ship moved slowly across the barren plains, heading toward a larger human base. The red soil and jagged rocks stretched endlessly, silent witnesses to the alien family's journey. Rin looked out the window, whispering questions. Tilla stayed close to Sayla, and Koro clutched her hand. When they arrived, the base was a stark contrast to the warmth of the ship. Tall walls, flashing lights, and armed guards everywhere. Humans in armor moved quickly, checking scans and weapons. The alien mother felt her chest tighten. This was the world of rules, orders, and judgment. Inside, the Council of Humans gathered. Sayla and her children were brought to a bright room with high ceilings. Humans in official uniforms stood, talking quietly but sharply. Some looked at her with curiosity, some with fear, some with judgment. One human stepped forward. "These aliens cannot be allowed to roam free. They are unknown, dangerous. Protocol says we contain them." His tone was hard, unyielding. Darren stepped in front of Sayla and her children. "They are not dangerous," he said firmly. "They are a mother and her children. They have done no harm." The council murmured. Some whispered agreement. Others shook their heads. Sayla felt the weight of every gaze. She could feel the fear and mistrust radiating from the humans around her. And squeezed her hand. "Mother, are they going to hurt us?" Sayla smiled softly, hiding her worry. "No, not if we stay close. Trust me." The debate continued. Humans argued over rules, safety, and risk. Some insisted the aliens be sent away. Others followed Darren's lead, quietly insisting on mercy. Sayla stayed quiet, watching, holding her children close. Every word, every glance, every decision could change their lives. Suddenly, a loud alarm echoed through the base. The lights flickered. Humans moved quickly, some drawing weapons. The council froze for a moment, looking at the alarms and then at the aliens. Darren looked at Sayla. "It's okay," he said. "Not for you. I will protect you." Sayla nodded, feeling a mixture of fear and hope. These humans were unpredictable. Some would protect. Some would destroy. And she could only pray they chose to protect. Rin's small voice broke through her thoughts. "Mother, why are humans so different?" Sayla held him close, brushing his pale blue hair. "Because, Rin, some humans are kind, and some are not. Tonight, we will see which ones matter most." Outside, the red plains lay quiet, but the tension inside the base was thick. The mother and her children waited, holding on to the hope that kindness could survive in a world full of rules, fear, and power. And deep inside, Sayla knew, trust would be their hardest journey yet. The red sky darkened again. But this time, it was not the storm. Sayla sensed it immediately. The air felt heavy, electric, and dangerous. Her children clung to her as she scanned the horizon from the base's high walls. Rin's eyes widened. "Mother, what is that?" Across the plains, alien ships fast, dark and sharp-edged descended from the clouds. Their shapes were familiar to Sayla. She had seen them before. The same kind that had destroyed her home, scattered her people, and burned the city she had once loved. Her heart froze. "They've come," she whispered. The human commander, Captain Darren, moved quickly, barking orders. "Shields up! All defense units to positions. Civilians inside shelters." Sayla's children trembled. Tilla hid her face in her mother's cloak, and Koro clung to her arm, small hands gripping tight. Rin's small fists were clenched, ready, but he looked at his mother for courage. The alien ships fired first. Bright red beams tore across the plains. The base shook. Metal bent. Alarms screamed. Smoke filled the air. The walls of the base groaned under the attack. Humans rushed to their positions. Weapons hummed, shields activated, and soldiers moved with precision. Darren stayed near Sayla and the children, his presence a silent promise of protection. Sayla watched, fear and awe fighting inside her. Humans were not the strongest species, not the most advanced, but they fought with courage, precision, and an unyielding will. Every soldier moved like they were defending not just walls, but life itself. The children's eyes followed the bright beams, the explosions, and the alien ships. Sayla hugged them close. "We are safe here," she whispered. Her voice wavered, but she tried to believe it. One of the alien ships breached the outer shield. The walls of the base shook violently. Darren grabbed Rin and pulled him behind cover. "Stay low. Stay close," he shouted. Sayla gritted her teeth. She had no weapon, no strength to fight, yet she felt a fierce determination rise in her chest. Her children would survive. They must. Another alien ship descended closer. Its cannons fired. Sparks flew. Walls cracked. The humans fought desperately, blocking, dodging, and striking back. The sounds of war were loud, metal against metal, alarms, shouts, and the constant hum of energy weapons. Through it all, Darren stayed by the alien family. He shielded them with his body, deflecting debris, guiding them to safety. Sayla's heart ached at his bravery. She had seen heroes before, but never one who fought for strangers with such courage. The children watched, wide-eyed, as humans moved like a single organism. Some humans were injured, but no one abandoned the weak. The humans' determination was staggering. Smoke and fire filled the sky. The red world beyond glowed with destruction. Sayla whispered prayers under her breath. Her children's safety, her promise, it all depended on these humans. Minutes felt like hours. Then, slowly, the alien ships began to retreat. Explosions faded. Smoke cleared. The base, though battered, still stood. Humans had won. Sayla sank to the floor, holding Koro. Rin and Tila huddled beside her. Her hands were trembling, her heart racing. She looked at Darren, who finally allowed himself a moment to breathe. "You protected us," she whispered. Darren nodded, still tense. "We fight for those who cannot fight for themselves." Sayla's eyes softened. For the first time in years, she felt hope grow like a fragile flower in the red dust of Karis 9. But she knew the battle was only one step. Questions remained. Why had the enemies come now? Were there more to follow? And deep inside, Sayla felt a new emotion: trust. Maybe humans could be more than destroyers. Maybe, just maybe, they could be saviors too. But the night was far from over. and the red sky still burned with danger. The smoke from the battle still hung low over the base. The red sky was streaked with fire and ash, reminders of the attack that had shaken Sayla to her core. The children huddled together, exhausted, their faces pale from fear and adrenaline. Sayla held Koro close, her eyes scanning the damaged walls. Rin and Tilla clung to her sides. Her mind raced. She knew what she had to do. If the humans could not protect them, she would surrender herself. Maybe then her children would be safe. She stepped toward Darren, her small frame trembling but resolute. "I will give myself to them," she said quietly. "Let them take me. Protect the children." Darren's eyes widened, his jaw tightening. He shook his head. "No, you will not. I will not allow that." Silas stared at him, confused. "But you fought for us. And yet the others may come. They may take me anyway. I cannot risk the children." Darren knelt to her level, his hands gently holding her shoulders. "If they want you," he said firmly, "they go through us. All of us, not just me. Your children are safe. Because I will protect you. Because humans. Sometimes we do the right thing." Sayla's chest tightened. Words like these were rare, almost impossible to hear after years of fear. Her people had taught her that trust could kill you, and yet, here, a human risked everything for her and her children. Rin peeked from behind her leg. "Mother, he will protect us?" Sayla nodded, her throat tight. "Yes, Rin, he promises, and I will try to believe him." The base was still buzzing with activity. Repairs were underway. Soldiers checked weapons, medics treated the wounded, and Darren coordinated every movement. Through it all, he never left the alien family's side. His presence was steady, like an unmovable shield. The enemy had retreated, but their attack left questions. Why now? Why this family? Sayla could not stop worrying. But for the first time, fear was balanced by something else. Hope. "You fought for us," she said to Darren, her voice barely above a whisper. "Even when it was dangerous, why?" Darren looked away, a shadow of weariness on his face. "Because it is right. Sometimes the strongest weapon is not fire or metal. It's courage. And sometimes, it's heart." Sayla felt tears prick her eyes. Her children were looking at her, seeing the emotion she rarely showed. She took a deep breath. The war outside was not over. There would be battles yet to come. But in this moment, she understood a truth her people rarely learned. Strength is not only in survival, but in the choice to protect those weaker than yourself. She looked at Koro, then Tella, then Rin. They were alive. They were safe. And for the first time, she felt something like peace. Darren placed a hand on her shoulder. "You have choices now," he said softly. "Stay, let us help you. Let the children grow. Let them learn that not all beings are enemies." Sayla nodded, letting the weight of her decision settle. She would stay. She would trust him. And though her heart carried the scars of loss, she would allow herself to hope. Later, as the sun began to rise over the red plains, Sayla watched her children laugh quietly while exploring the repaired base. Rin ran his small hands over the walls, testing their sturdiness. Tilla spun in delight at the warmth of the floor. Koro clutched her hand, a small smile on his face. Sayla met Darren's eyes, and in that look, a silent understanding passed between them. The fight was not over, but tonight they had survived. And that survival was proof humans could be more than destroyers. They could be protectors. She whispered to herself, almost a prayer. If courage and heart can survive, then maybe hope can too. The red sky slowly faded, leaving behind a promise. Tomorrow, they would face the world together. Stronger than before, the red sky finally softened, turning a pale orange as dawn stretched across the barren plains of Curus 9. The battle was over. The smoke had cleared. The enemy had retreated, leaving the base damaged but standing. Sayla watched her children play in the warmth of the repaired rooms. Rin ran his small hands along the smooth walls, testing each corner. Tilla laughed as she spun in circles on the glowing floor. Koro clutched her hand, shy but smiling for the first time in months. For the first time since her home world was destroyed, Sayla felt a sense of normalcy. A fragile, precious normal. She breathed deeply, letting the warmth sink into her bones. Captain Darren entered the room, carrying small packages of food for the children. "Breakfast," he said simply, setting the food down on the low table. He smiled at them, a tired but genuine expression. "Eat well. Today is a new day." Sayla studied him quietly. He had fought for them, protected them, and risked everything. He had proven that not all humans were dangerous, that some could be kind, that some could care deeply. The human base had begun to transform. Engineers worked quickly, building proper shelters for the alien family. Walls of metal and glass, insulated floors, and heated rooms replaced the fragile tent that had once held their lives in balance. For the first time, Sayla allowed herself to imagine a future, a safe place for her children to grow, learn, and dream. Rin tugged at her sleeve. "Mother, look. They made a bed just for me." Tilla jumped onto a small couch, laughing. "And I have blankets everywhere." Koro's small fingers traced the smooth walls. "It's safe," he whispered. Sayla smiled, her chest swelling with a warmth she had not felt in years. She knelt beside Koro, brushing a soft lock of hair from his face. "Yes, Koro, safe, always." Outside, the plains were still harsh, still red and empty. But inside, under these strong walls, the alien mother and her children could finally rest. For now, fear had been replaced by safety, hunger by warmth, and loneliness by companionship. Darren approached Sayla, his expression gentle. "Your people may have lost much," he said softly, "but not everything. Here, your children will live. They will learn. They will grow." Sayla nodded, gratitude welling in her heart. "You kept your promise," she whispered. He smiled faintly. Sometimes promises are all that keep hope alive. For the first time in years, Sayla allowed herself to hope. She watched her children explore their new home, seeing laughter on their faces, excitement in their eyes. Every small moment was precious. Every small joy was victory. The sun rose higher, painting the red plains in lighter shades. But inside the walls, the alien family thrived. They were under one roof, together and protected. The fear that had haunted them for so long seemed to fade, replaced by trust and security. Sayla sat with her children, holding them close. She whispered softly, almost to herself, "The humans kept their promise. And maybe, not all the universe is cruel." Rin leaned against her shoulder. "Mother, do you think the others will come back?" Sayla kissed his forehead. "If they do, we will face them. But for now, we are safe. We are together. And that is enough." Tilla curled beside her. Koro nestled against her side. Sayla looked around at the room, the beds, the warm floor, the strong walls, and for the first time, she allowed herself to smile fully. The alien mother had survived, and her children had survived. And under this new roof, with humans who chose courage and kindness, they could finally begin again. The red world outside was still harsh and unforgiving. But inside, in the warmth and safety of the base, hope had found a home. Sayla whispered one last time, a soft promise to herself and her children. "No matter what comes, we will survive, together." And in that moment, the alien mother knew home was not just a place. It was a promise kept,